Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today, this is part two to the Amazon documentary "Married to the Game." The look behind of Taylor Ward and Riyad Mahrez's wedding. Last time we spoke about why it is important to be famous, why it's important to garner attention, why it's important to be seen, why she is making a documentary, and why she married a footballer, because it is the world we're moving into. You need to be somebody who's relevant, somebody who is able to command attention, because that's how you get the best business deals. That's how you can make the most money in the world. That's how you get the best social opportunities and the best dating opportunities. And if you understand what I'm talking about, if you want to live life on the easy, you need to be able to create content like Taylor Ward is here. This Amazon documentary is content. And she's doing this so she can get future projects, so she can get future brand deals, so she can get future TV presenting jobs. If you want to live life, a luxury life, then this is the easiest strategy. This is the best strategy, and this is the only strategy left, because AI will come and displace most of people in society. So most of society will be left jobless. Even if you look at Elon Musk, for example, like, he's already a fucking billionaire, he's already famous, but he's constantly in the news. Because people might say it's because he's an egomaniac, people say he's a narcissist, but more than that, it's actually because it's the best business strategy, it's the best business investment you can make, your fame, because that is how you can have continuous business deals and continuously make money in the future. But let's get into this doc. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward a few bits. So we're not going to watch the whole thing, because a lot of it is just like
shiny shoes. I was like, what the hell? Is he maturing or what? This is crazy.
Is he maturing? So she was actually willing to marry an immature man just because he's got. Just think about that. These are the wedding ring, yeah. Like, she's just like, yeah, casually, I'll just buy another one if it doesn't fit. Like, that's how the wealthy live, and isn't that how you want to live, right? So if you want to live that type of lifestyle where money is no object, you need to be able to become someone who is able to garner attention, someone who's able to become famous. You need to start making content so you can start live that high life. Okay. She was casually walking down the street from the Christmas market and bumps into a Premier League footballer. Okay. Bearing in mind that she's already been out with another Premier League footballer, Sergio Aguero, right? You can look it up. I'm not making this shit up. Okay. More like she was probably hounding him down, right? Hunting for to bag him, right? She set her sights on her target, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get him. But she makes it sound so fucking casual, right? Like, oh yeah, I was just literally la 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 walking down the fucking road, and I bumped into a Premier League footballer, multi-millionaire Premier League footballer. But no, like just you can. It is made up. So basically, they have a mutual friend who's also probably a footballer who introduced them. It's probably Sergio Aguero who fucking hooked him up. You can just tell by his reaction that it was like, she probably hounded him down. Like, she was on a mission to get her man here, right? Because even in this picture, look, he's just casually just like posing for the picture, and she's like, begging to be to be in the picture. Yeah, so she goes, we just went to the cinema. So to a normal person, right, would be like, oh, they just went to a fucking Odeon or View and just sat there like with thousands of or hundreds of other people, in the screen watching this film, right? And he goes on to say that it was a private screening, right? It was literally just them two in the whole cinema. So that's more romantic. But she doesn't want to give him the credit, which is like why I don't know. It just feels off. Do you get what I mean? Like that's such an important detail, right? That she misses. Most of it is just like literally is behind the scenes of the fucking wedding, just them getting ready, yeah. And that's how easy it is to make content, right? But why are people watching this, right? People might say, "Oh, I'm interested in weddings," but it's not. They're interested in the lives of famous and rich people, because everybody, whether they like to admit it or not, realizes the opportunities that you get when you are rich and famous. Okay, And you know, people, everyone's heard the saying is the rich get richer, right? Why is that? Because they are able to attract more business opportunities. This is why, it is a smart business move, right? Like literally, Kim Kardashian used the same strategy, right? Instead of football players, she dated NFL players and basketball players, movie stars, rappers. Okay, um, and you do that for a while, and all of a sudden you're a fucking famous person. She's a billionaire. Like her family's literally everyone in her family is a fucking multi-billionaire at this stage, right? This is the power of fame. This is where society is headed. We are soon going to be locked in the metaverse, okay? And then how are people going to be able to recognize who's who? It's the same way on Instagram. When you look at someone's profile, you look at how many followers they have, and the more followers that they have, the more it is seen that they have more credibility, whether they have or not. It is seen that they have, because that they people recognize that they must have some sort of relevance because they have all these followers. Okay, so if you want to ensure your future, if you want to be able to have access to brand deals, you need to get as famous as possible. You need to be seen as famous as possible. And the way we do it here on Raw Instinct is we build content around things that you're passionate about, things that you are interested in. So when you are making this content, when you are working towards achieving your goals, that it doesn't seem and feel like work, that you are able to do this 24/7 with little motivation, with little discipline, and it's just easily something that comes very naturally to you. That's something that's very easy for you to do. You make content around your interests and hobbies, and as you learn more and more and more about what it is that you're interested in, you refine it as you go along, and people start seeing you on your journey, and they start rooting for you. They want you to win, and then they'll be happy to see you make progress and strides. Um, Towards success, okay, and it in the end it just becomes a snowballing effect where you become more of a subject matter expert, where you become more and more famous, where more and more eyeballs come towards you, and then as you're doing that, more money starts flowing your way, and then you can use those resources to build your kingdom. And the more wealth you accumulate, the more resources you accumulate, the great your kingdom becomes, and the bigger your kingdom. And once you have a kingdom, is you will be seen as a king, and once you're seen as a king, that's when you get the ultimate opportunities, because people would want to do business with a king. Other kings, such as myself, will recognize you and want to hang out with you. Women who see themselves as queens, and all women do see themselves as queens, would want to date you and be part of your life. And then dating becomes very easy. You literally have women coming towards you, and then you can just be like, yes, no, yes, no. But everything will be done on your terms. Wouldn't you want to live a life like that? Do you want to live a life of luxury? Do you want to have your fairy tale wedding like this guy and this woman in this documentary? If you do, you need to become someone who people want to know, someone who people recognize as a king. And the way to do that is by start building your kingdom. Here on Royal Instinct, I'm looking for 100 people. I'm looking for 100 kings, or future kings, who understand what I'm trying to achieve here, who want to be part of a legions of kings, a royal network where we are all building our kingdoms, rising to the top. And once we get to the top, it'll be us together ruling, overthrowing the current leaders, the world governments, and ushering a better future for humanity. Okay, because I can't trust the world leaders that we have right now, and I'm sure you at home can't trust them either. Okay, and then so who can you trust? Well, one thing for certain, you should be able to trust yourself. And if you are a good person, then I want you on my team. Then I want you to build a kingdom alongside me, so we can ensure the future of the world is secure. Yeah, isn't that what every man wants, right? Someone who's nice, looks after people, and looks after the kids, right? And it sounds very misogynistic. It sounds very old fashioned, but that is the old fashioned values is what made the world go round. The old fashioned values is how societies were built, and is how families are formed, and the best, you know unless you come from a fucked up family, do you get what I mean? Then I don't know what to tell you. But everyone likes the ideal version of a family, because there's something very safe towards it. There's something very comforting in that ideology. um And the society we live in now is, that is few and far between. It's that's Riyad's second wedding. um you know it comes and goes, so it's not something that's not even permanent anymore. um what I'm trying to do here on Royal Instinct is trying to create a permanent allegiance, a permanent network, where you and 100 other kings can come together and look out for each other, lift each other up, form true friendships and loyalties to one another, so we can have a new type of family, a royal family, if you must, where we are able to add value into our lives, where we are able to share the good times, eradicate loneliness in the world. And the way to do it is, but first we need these 100 kings to come together to share a vision, to start building 100 kingdoms. Okay, and then we can roll out this message to the masses, and then you will be seen as their leader. Okay, and then us 100 kings will come together. We'll have throw royal parties, and we will live the best lives that the world has to offer. I mean, these footballers, they come, they're very isolated, in the sense of, they're very talented from a young age, and then everybody wants to make them as best as possible so they can profit of them, basically, right? And a lot of 99% of footballers don't make it, but the 1% that do go on to live multimillionaire lives. But they remain very sheltered because they go from being young, and then they go through like youth academies, right, where they just like their whole regime is eat, train, sleep, repeat, right? And then once they break it and became breakout stars, they get flooded with money, but then also at the same time get fame, and then they have to be isolated because they're so young. They don't know how to navigate that, which is why here at Royal Instinct we coming together with 100 kings who are already planning this, right? So when you do blow up, when you do become famous, you'll be able to navigate it more easily because you'll be surrounded by like-minded people. I mean, did she get the baby just to bag the man? I don't know. When you ask for another one, she's like, no. I mean, look at his face. He's just like, what the fuck did I marry? But okay, that's enough. Um, good on her. She played the game. She's winning the game at the moment. She is, she bagged a rich husband. She secured her future, her family's future, and now she's creating even more wealth by becoming famous and getting her name out there, getting her personality out there to attract more investors, more business opportunities, more business partners. And who knows where she will end up? Will she become the Kim Kardashian of the UK? Is she already the Kim Kardashian of the UK? Who the fuck knows? I've never even heard of her before this documentary, but good to her. I'm not hating. I couldn't care less what she's doing, but I'm just here to show you the strategy people use to amass wealth, to amass the future of their children, the how to get the best business deals, and to rise to the top. And people be like, "Oh no, that's not an honorable way to do it." Who the fuck cares? Right? When you're rolling around in money, when you're rolling around in cash, who gives a fuck? Okay. And you can look at Kim Kardashian, who started off with a porno tape and now is a legitimate, looked up to, regarded as a businesswoman and a role model for millions of girls worldwide. Again, like money can make, you can spend anything with money. All right. If you want to live a life of luxury, if you want to learn how to become famous, if you want to rise to the top and live a life of luxury, reach out to me and we can see how I can help you. We can turn you into a charismatic content creator. We can build your kingdom. We can ensure that you are able to live a life of luxury, and you can join 100 kings to form a royal alliance to take over the globe. So we can safeguard it from the evils in humanity. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care and see you later.